Welcome to Business Brains, a platform I created based on being an entrepreneur and business or information you are interested in based on a matter of importance to you. This time we have Chris, the property portfolio master, in episode 2, giving us information on maintenance, licenses, and more besides. Enjoy.
It's good that you've got the financial advisor, but as of now, that's kind of like quite a lot of properties to juggle. Do you have anyone working with you?
No. So the way I've managed it and managed myself is that, so what I would say here is the better maintained the property, the less burden it becomes on you or anyone else.
Yeah.
So my motto has always been, I would live in the house myself.
Cool.
In any of those houses, I will live there. So I want, and I'm quite finicky, so I want the property to be at a standard that I would live in myself.
Cool. So
that's always been my mantra. Exactly. That's been my that's always been my mantra. So every home, it's whitewashed, it's furnished, decent furniture, decent appliances, everything, new if you can, or fairly new, or my go-to is Gumtree. Gumtree's helped. It's provided a lot over the years.
Cool.
Because you get people who put things on Gumtree, which they're not even, they're nowhere near finished or not good to go. It's just that they just want to get rid of it. And then, at a reasonable price, and so it's still good to go. So I've done that a lot.
So it's not difficult managing all of these 5 properties. You can at any time get a phone call in the middle of the night, a pipe burst, window smash.
You can get all of those things, and those things do happen.
Yes.
But where I was going with that is that generally the house is in such a good condition that there's hardly anything going wrong. I mean, there's out of the 5, there's one I can't even remember what it looks like inside. I was there. I was actually there recently, only because what was I doing there? Something new. The gas certificate was being done, and I was going there to do it. I'm not doing it myself, but I went there with the guy. That's an introduction, and I hadn't been there in ages. So that just gives you an indication that you haven't been there in ages, and it's in good condition, good nick. It's fine. You're not going to be there all the time. So it can be difficult because what tends to happen, you get the winter, you get the summer. The winter might be a burst pipe, might be the gutters blocked, might be the boiler breaks down, those type of things. You get them in the winter. But again, if you regularly do your servicing, regularly do your certificates, you're protected for the winter. Likewise, the summer, there might be issues with this, that, or the other. I'm already on it because it's been maintained regularly. It's not a surprise thing. So I actually don't. And if I do get multiple calls, this is broken, that's broken, I'm on the case, and I've got a list of tradespersons who I can contact. They can sort it out.
Oh, cool. So you've got an ad hoc list then. So I was going to say, what is the day in the life of your job at a hectic time, as in, the fact of you having these properties? But in a way, it's not that bad, is it? But what about a month?
No.
In a month, is there not like loads of bits and pieces? Like you're at work, no. Full-time job. You don't get any.
Yeah, there are times when you get a washing machine situation, oven not working, this, that, and the other. So most times I just have to say, well, it can wait till the weekend. Let me see if I can get it repaired, replaced, new part. I had an example, the washing machine was very noisy, breaking down.
Yeah.
In the end, I got another washing machine, picked it up myself, installed it myself. Not, it's not a big deal. What I have learned over the years, is how to become handy yourself.
Wow.
So I don't, electrics, plumbing. First point of call is me.
Yeah. Oh,
with
cool.
my toolbox
Oh,
to see what I can do, and if it becomes beyond me, then I would call in electrician, plumber, etc., gas engineer, etc.
really
But in some cases, it is manageable by myself.
Yeah.
The tenant will call out, "Oh, this is not working," and I'm thinking, "Yeah, that sounds like you haven't put the switch on." So rather than call out the professional who's going to just come in and do exactly what I'm going to do, I make my way down there.
That's
So
fantastic.
I want to get down there, have a look myself, do the little checks myself.
Yeah.
Got my tester, do the sort of test myself, and then take it from there. If it's beyond me, then it goes to someone else.
Cool.
But yeah, so that happens. But in a month, you sometimes you can have a call out. What happens actually, Farrell, sometimes is that a lot of the tenants don't want to trouble me because they are equally aware that the house, they've met the house in good condition.
Yes.
If I need to replace, I replace new or fairly new, all of these things.
Yeah.
So some of them they're all, and that's kind of reflected in the rent as well. For some of them would just say, "Oh, didn't want to bother you, so we sorted that out ourselves."
Oh wow.
Yeah, because some
They
of them have
sort things
been
out
there.
themselves.
Yes, a number of them will sort things out themselves, especially when they're sort of tradespeople themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're saying, we're not going to bother you for that. We can either I can do it or I'll get someone to do it.
But that means you must have a pretty good relationship with them then. Have you ever had any problems with anyone, like squatters or anything like that?
No.
In all of those years,
So again,
that's happened.
no.
Cool.
Maybe I might have had difficulty getting rid of a tenant back in the day.
Yeah.
But one lesson you've learned is, you can get a cold caller. Oh, I really like the house. I would like to rent it. And sometimes a cold caller would mean that you don't have to pay the agency fees. And sometimes you think, yep, that will work out. It's nice and cheap, blah, 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 don't have to pay. But then the agency, their job will save you a lot of problems in terms of people who come in, can't afford it really, perhaps, but present with, the first month's deposit and rent.
Yeah.
But second month, third month, you're fighting them for the rent.
Wow.
So my advice has always been just use the agent.
Yes.
They have an introduction service. Just use them. They vet, they do all the bits and pieces, and you've got someone to go back to. There is a problem.
Wow.
You've got someone that you can go back to. So yeah, overall, I don't find it demanding. It probably was demanding back in the early days when because you all of these landlord and all of this, it grows with you. So in the first instance, oh, I'm not going to do that. Why am I doing that? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. 15, 20, 25 years on, the easiest thing for not an easy life, but not being contacted regularly for this, that, and the other is to maintain the property.
It sounds
Once
like
the
a very
property is maintained,
well-oiled machine you've got there.
yeah, and in Newham, where they are, you have to have a license now.
A license?
So yes, you have to have a license to be a landlord. Not everyone subscribes to it, but they will eventually catch up with you. And within this license, they will periodically come round and do spot checks.
Yeah.
So when they've done spot checks with mine, I've had no problem, no worry. They walk in. Most of it, the license is because Newham's very, how can I say this? Quite heavy with a lot of Asian landlords,
Yes.
and also quite heavy with a lot of people using the garden shed as a dwelling.
What do you mean by that? I don't get that.
So what happens is very prominent in Newham and
Yeah.
Tower Hamlets and maybe some of the other surrounding boroughs. You can have a big shed in the garden. You can make it out of brick, but what they're doing is they're renting it out as a studio.
Oh, and that's illegal.
And that's illegal, yeah. Shed is a shed.
But how would anyone know though?
You just know when you see something looking quite fancy and it's even got a roof on it and there's people using it. There's normally people living there. So it's a way that some people are making quick bucks as well.
Wow.
But they're all over Newham. Sometimes if you're on a train, you can see them from the back of the tube on the district line. You can just see, shed after shed after shed.
I've seen things like that myself, but I just thought it was just a massive shed that someone had perhaps made into like a fitness center rather than having to go to the gym. They kind of like built a gym at home kind of thing.
Yeah, but most of them, that's what is hidden and that's what is purported to be. But actually, because in some cases it's very simple. They might have brought family over from home. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're trying to set that family member up. Well, okay, you'll stay here for now. You'll work in the restaurant for 5 years. You'll get your money. We'll help you, and then you'll move on. You know, that type of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's kind of what it's generally used for. Someone's come over, and then they eventually will fly that, and someone else will come over.
So
or it's purely rental.
They saw something like that then.
Just carry on walking by.
I don't think
Newham have got the resources to be chasing every single one. Because what the first thing you'll do if you get the knock is you would have primed the persons to say, well, no, we're not living here. Even though it looks like this is just where we sit in the garden and relax. You know what I mean? Outhouse is like an outhouse.
Yeah. I'm very close by to here. I'll keep my eye out. So next thing I'd like to mention, Chris, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No, go on.
I was going to say, what drives you and why? Because you're very driven.
Yeah, what drives? I suppose it was very much starting the first, getting the second, and getting a third, a fourth. I suppose what the drive is kind of it's going to sound silly, but the ease in getting one to the other. But when I say ease with all the right parameters being in place.
Yeah.
The right parameters being, financial advisor, drive in the first instance, knowledge, understanding, and also, looking ahead down the road. Do I want to be working into my late this, late that?
Yes.
What can I do to assist that?
Yeah.
This. What's the best type of investment? Property. All of those things. So it's having a knowledge of all of those bits and pieces, and where you can put all of that knowledge and how you can use that knowledge. So the drive, really, I suppose, I'm trying to emulate my dad. Let's say that, and do it properly.
Yeah.
And also with drive,
yeah,
comes regret slightly in that I wish I'd just continued. Just maybe another 5. Yeah.
To buy more property. What's stopping you? What's stopping you?
At the minute, what would be stopping me is that what I've got, the initial, or what I need to pay back to the bank, just to be blunt, what I need to pay back to the bank now could be managed through a house sale. Does that make sense?
I went blank. So what you need to pay back to the bank could be managed by one of the houses. Is that what you're saying?
It's being sold, yes.
Oh, wow.
So basically, what I mean is so what I'm saying is that I didn't get into too much debt.
Yeah, cool.
Maybe I was a bit slightly over conservative, and I thought, okay, let me just debt which is manageable. So the debt, debt of 25 years ago is very different now because of inflation and house price increase, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So, if I owe the bank through all of the properties, add it all up, I owe them about, say, I owe them 400-500. Today, one of the properties could be worth that. So with that value,
wow,
I can now then pay off what I owe the banks. However, if I've overstretched myself, it is kind of relative in a sense, because if I've overstretched myself, you have 10 properties.
Yes, yeah.
And then maybe two or three would pay off. But as you increase your portfolio, you obviously increase your debt.
Yeah.
And what people got caught out with in the past is when we've had, 2009 or was it 2007? When the markets have fallen.
Oh yeah, the financial.
People got caught out that way. So I was probably a bit over cautious and over conservative, not to overdo it. And you don't have to be, greedy is not the right word, but you don't have to overstretch yourself.
Yeah.
The only thing is with my current partner, I did say to her, let's go in on one or two together. But she herself was over cautious and no, just got I want to stick with the one mortgage, not have to worry about this, not have to worry about that. And that's a kind of regret for me as well. But nevertheless, you can't, what you've got is what you've got, and some people didn't even start.
Well, you do five times better than most people. Put it that way.
Yeah. Some people didn't start. So it has been the drive is really just to emulate what my dad did. And once you started it, and when I say ease, what I meant by that is at the time I was working as a locum social worker. So I had my own business, limited company as a worker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So during that period, my salary was, was a business, in a business salary, if you like.
Yeah.
So, you're able to earn a bit more, you're able to have an umbrella company, able to pay less tax through the accountant, etc. So that enabled me to quickly amass a little deposit, plus whatever I drew down, and did it like that. So the doors, I always say to people, if you have property, doors open.